Raw opens in chaos. Not the fun kind, the dangerous kind. The camera cuts through the arena, catching fans on their feet, security pacing nervously, commentators speaking in lowered tones like something terrible has already happened, or is about to. Then the footage rolls. Earlier tonight, CM Punk walking through the backstage hallway alone. No smile, no tape yet, still bruised from Roman Reigns' last assault, but moving with purpose. His jaw is clenched, eyes focused straight ahead. And that's when the shadows move. Bron Breakker explodes into frame like a missile. Spear. Punk crashes into a production crate, metal rattling everywhere. Before Punk can react, Roman Reigns steps into view. The crowd in the arena boos as loud as they ever have. Roman doesn't rush, he watches. Bron drags Punk up and throws him headfirst into the concrete wall. Punk stumbles, barely standing, and Roman finally steps forward. Superman punch. Punk collapses. Roman kneels beside him, grabbing Punk by the chin, forcing his face up. Roman tells him this is what happens when you don't learn. Bron laughs. Roman nods once. Bron charges. Spear into the equipment case. Punk crumples. Officials flood the hallway, screaming for help, begging Roman to stop. Roman stands. He looks down at Punk. Then he says it. This ends tonight. Roman and Bron walk away together, leaving Punk motionless on the floor. The footage ends. The arena is furious. Chants for Punk echo through the building. Medical staff wheel Punk out on a stretcher. He's conscious, but barely. The commentators are furious, calling this a mugging, a calculated attempt to end Punk's career. Raw cuts to commercial. When it returns, something feels different. The lights dim slightly. The crowd buzzes. A familiar guitar riff hits. Slow, heavy, unmistakable. If ya smellll. The arena detonates. The Rock has returned. The People's Champion walks onto the stage, eyes locked on the ring, jaw set, not smiling, not playing to the crowd. This isn't nostalgia. This is business. The Rock enters the ring and demands a microphone. The crowd won't stop chanting his name. Finally, he speaks. He says he watched what Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker did. He says he didn't come here to promote anything. He didn't come here to relive memories. He came here because someone crossed a line. The Rock says Roman Reigns likes to talk about family, about blood, about legacy. The Rock says legacy isn't about ambushes. It's about standing your ground. The crowd roars. The Rock calls Roman out. Nothing. He calls Bron Breakker out. Still nothing. The Rock smirks. He says he's not surprised. He says Roman learned a long time ago how to attack from behind and disappear when the consequences show up. The Tron flickers. Roman Reigns appears on screen. Bron Breakker stands beside him, arms crossed, smirking. Roman says The Rock doesn't belong here anymore. He says this isn't Hollywood. This is his WWE now. Roman says Punk stuck his nose where it didn't belong, and The Rock should take that as a warning. The Rock laughs. Not amused. Dangerous. The Rock says Roman might run Raw, but he doesn't run him. He says Roman wants to talk about the head of the table. The Rock says the table existed long before Roman sat at it. The crowd loses its mind. Roman's smile fades. Bron steps forward and says The Rock should worry about himself. Bron says legends get broken when they stick around too long. The Rock tilts his head. He says Bron Breakker reminds him of a pit bull with no leash and no discipline. He says Bron has power, but no wisdom. Roman cuts in. He says this isn't about Punk anymore. He says this is about The Rock not knowing when to stay out of family business. The Rock's expression hardens. He says Punk isn't family. He's respect. And Roman lost that. The Tron goes black. Suddenly, Bron Breakker's music hits. Roman's too. They're coming. The crowd erupts. Roman and Bron storm down the ramp together. The Rock stands his ground. No fear. No backing up. Roman slides into the ring. Bron circles. The Rock throws the first punch. The arena explodes. The Rock unloads on Bron, backing him into the corner. Roman charges. The Rock ducks. Spinebuster. Roman hits the mat. Bron tackles The Rock from behind. They swarm him. 2-on-1. The numbers overwhelm him. Roman nails a Superman punch. Bron hits a spear. The Rock goes down. The crowd boos mercilessly. Roman grabs a chair. Bron holds The Rock down. Roman raises the chair. And the crowd suddenly roars again. CM Punk's music hits. The arena comes unglued. Punk storms onto the stage, taped ribs, fire in his eyes. Roman freezes. Bron turns. Punk sprints. He slides into the ring and swings wildly. Roman backs up. Bron eats a chair shot. The Rock gets back to his feet. Punk and The Rock stand side by side. The visual is unreal. Roman snarls. Bron charges again. Double clothesline. Roman pulls Bron out of the ring. They retreat up the ramp, furious, shouting threats. The Rock grabs a mic. Punk takes 1-2. The Rock says Roman wanted to make this personal. Congratulations. Punk says Roman thought breaking his body would end him. Instead, it brought back up. The Rock says this isn't one night. This is war. Raw ends with Punk and The Rock standing tall as the crowd roars louder than it has all year. And everyone knows, Roman Reigns just made the biggest mistake of his career. Raw doesn't fade out, it lingers. The camera stays on the ring longer than usual, because what just happened doesn't feel finished. CM Punk and The Rock stand shoulder to shoulder, breathing heavy, eyes locked on the ramp where Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker disappeared moments ago. The crowd is still roaring. Not chanting, roaring. This isn't nostalgia. This isn't fantasy booking. This is Collision. The Rock lowers his mic slowly. Punk doesn't even look at him yet. Punk is staring straight down the ramp, jaw clenched so tight it looks like it might crack. Finally, Punk turns. He looks at The Rock. There's history there. Complicated, tense, respect mixed with ego, old friction buried under new urgency. Punk speaks first. He says he didn't ask for help. The Rock nods. He says he didn't come because Punk asked. He came because Roman Reigns crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. The crowd reacts loudly. Punk smirks, just slightly. He says Roman Reigns doesn't just want to beat him. He wants to erase him. And now Roman's dragged Bron Breakker into it, a human wrecking ball with something to prove and no breaks. The Rock says that's where Roman messed up. Because Roman didn't just make enemies. He made noise. And noise brings attention. The Rock looks into the camera. He says Roman Reigns wanted to remind the world he's still the most dangerous man in WWE. Congratulations. Now the whole world is watching. Raw finally cuts to black. But the war has only started. The next week, Raw opens with security everywhere. Not subtle, not backstage. They're lining the ramp, standing at ringside, watching the crowd. The commentators say WWE officials are on edge after what happened last week. They say Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker have been ordered to stay away from CM Punk and The Rock until later in the night. Nobody believes that will hold. CM Punk arrives at the arena early. Camera catches him stepping out of his car, hoodie up, taped ribs visible even through his clothes. A reporter asks him about Roman. Punk stops walking. He says Roman Reigns isn't a champion. He's a bully with a crown. And bullies panic when the people they try to bury keep standing up. Punk walks off. Moments later, a black SUV pulls in. The Rock steps out. No smile. No sunglasses. Just focus. Someone asks if he's here to back Punk up again. The Rock says he's here to finish what Roman started. Inside the arena, Roman Reigns is already furious. Backstage footage shows him pacing, shouting at officials, demanding his segment be moved to the main event. Bron Breakker stands behind him, arms crossed, vibrating with aggression. Roman says Punk and Rock embarrassed him. Bron says embarrassment gets paid back in blood. Roman smiles. Later that night, The Rock comes out first. Huge reaction, but different from before. This isn't celebration. This is anticipation. The Rock says last week wasn't about saving CM Punk. It was about stopping Roman Reigns from turning Raw into a hunting ground. He says Roman and Bron think strength means numbers. The Rock says real strength is standing in the open and daring someone to come take what's yours. CM Punk's music hits. The crowd erupts again. Punk joins The Rock in the ring. Punk says Roman doesn't want a fight. He wants control. He wants chaos on his terms. Punk says the problem is, chaos doesn't stay on forever. It spreads. The lights dim. Roman Reigns' music hits. The boos are deafening. Roman walks out alone. No Bron. No bloodline. Just Roman. He stands on the stage, microphone in hand, eyes burning. Roman says Punk hides behind legends. Roman says The Rock is a distraction. Roman says this is still his WWE. The Rock laughs. He tells Roman to get in the ring and say that to his face. Roman takes a step forward. Then another. Bron Breakker's music hits. The crowd groans. Bron storms out, cracking his neck, eyes locked on Punk. Roman smirks. The four men are now visible at once. The tension is unbearable. Roman says this doesn't have to end in chaos. He says Punk can walk away. He says The Rock can go back to Hollywood. Roman says Bron Breakker is the future. And the future doesn't need the past. Punk steps forward. He says Roman is terrified of the future. That's why he brought Bron. Because Roman knows one-on-one, eventually, the truth comes out. Roman snaps. He orders Bron to attack. Bron charges the ring. The Rock meets him halfway. Punches fly. Roman slides in from the other side and blindsides Punk. The arena explodes. Security rushes in, but it's useless. Bron throws the Rock into the corner. Roman rains fists down on Punk. Punk fights back, bloodied but swinging. The Rock breaks free and plants Bron with a spinebuster. Roman turns. Rock bottom. The crowd loses its mind. Bron tackles the Rock again. Punk grabs Roman. GTS attempt. Roman slips out and hits a low blow. Boos rain down. Roman and Bron retreat again, laughing, yelling threats. Punk is on one knee, breathing hard. The Rock helps him up. This time, Punk doesn't push him away. He nods. Backstage later, Triple H is shown furious. He says this has spiraled out of control. He announces it. Next week, main event, CM Punk and The Rock vs Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker. The crowd reaction is nuclear. Triple H adds one more thing. If Roman or Bron put their hands on Punk or Rock before that bell rings, they're suspended. The screen cuts to Roman's face. No smile, just rage. Raw ends with a split screen. Punk and Rock on one side. Roman and Bron on the other. 4 men, 2 eras, 1 war about to explode. And everyone knows, this tag match isn't the end. It's the fuse. Raw doesn't wait a week. It counts down. Throughout the night, the camera keeps cutting back to the same 4 locker rooms. CM Punk taping his wrists in silence, every rap tighter than the last. The Rock sitting alone, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor like a general replaying wars in his head. Roman Reigns standing in front of a mirror, adjusting his vest, jaw clenched, eyes cold. Bron Breakker pacing like a caged animal, slamming his fists into lockers, breathing heavy, begging for release. The commentators remind everyone of the stipulation. 1 touch, 1 cheap shot, suspension, but nobody believes discipline can hold monsters back. Finally, main event time. The arena lights dim. The crowd rises as one. CM Punk's music hits first. The reaction is thunderous. Punk walks out slowly, not posing, not playing to the crowd. He rolls his shoulders, cracked ribs hidden under tape, eyes never leaving the ring. He steps between the ropes and leans back into the corner, staring at the stage. Then The Rock's music hits. The place explodes. But The Rock doesn't smile. He doesn't throw up the eyebrow. He marches to the ring, nods once at Punk, and takes his corner. They don't speak. They don't need to. Roman Reigns' music hits next. The boos are deafening. Roman steps onto the stage, Bron Breakker right behind him. Roman raises one finger, not to the sky, to Punk. Bron cracks his neck and smiles. They enter the ring slowly, deliberately, like they own the place. The referee struggles to keep control as all 4 men stare each other down. The bell finally rings, and the war begins. Bron Breakker explodes first. He charges Punk like a missile. Punk ducks at the last second and hammers Bron with forearms, backing him into the corner. Punk unloads with kicks, forcing Bron to cover up. Roman tags himself in. The crowd roars. Roman steps in, eyes locked on Punk. They circle, slow, measured. Roman strikes first with a heavy right. Punk fires back. They trade blows in the center of the ring, the crowd counting along, every punch louder than the last. Roman shoves Punk into the ropes and goes for the Superman punch. Punk ducks. Roman turns. GTS attempt. Roman slips free and tags Bron back in. Bron tackles Punk to the mat and starts raining down fists. The Rock is begging for the tag. Punk crawls. Bron grabs him. Roman reaches in and yanks Punk back by the ankle. The referee warns Roman. Roman smirks. Bron drags Punk up and launches him into the corner. Punk collapses. Bron tags Roman. Roman stalks Punk, dragging him up slowly, whispering something only Punk can hear. Roman lifts him. Powerbomb. Punk writhes in pain. Roman pins. 1, 2. Punk kicks out. The crowd erupts. Roman's expression hardens. He tags Bron again. Bron charges. Spear. Punk is folded in half. Bron doesn't go for the pin. He wants damage. He lifts Punk again. Another spear. The Rock is screaming for the tag, slamming his hand on the turnbuckle. Punk barely moves. Bron drags Punk toward Roman's corner and tags Roman in one last time. Roman stands over Punk. This is domination. Roman raises his fist. Superman punch. Punk collapses again. Roman lines up in the corner. The crowd knows. Roman charges. Spear. Punk twists. Roman hits the mat hard. Punk crawls. Reaches. Stretches. Tags. The Rock is in. The arena detonates. The Rock unloads on Roman. Right hand. Left hand. Clothesline. Another. Roman stumbles. The Rock whips him into the ropes. Spinebuster. Bron rushes in. The Rock catches him. Spinebuster. The crowd is losing its mind. The Rock stands up. That look. He signals for it. People's elbow. The Rock hits the ropes. Roman rolls out of the ring. Bron scrambles to his feet. Spear. The Rock absorbs it. Staggers. Still standing. The Rock grabs Bron. Rock bottom. The cover. 1, 2. Roman breaks it up. Punk rushes in and tackles Roman. They spill outside. Fists flying. The referee is losing control. Bron rolls to the corner, dragging himself up. The Rock turns. Bron charges again. Spear. This time the Rock goes down. Bron covers. 1, 2. Punk dives in and breaks it up. The crowd is electric. Roman grabs a chair outside the ring. The referee is distracted with Bron and the Rock. Roman slides the chair in. Punk sees it. He turns. Roman swings. Punk ducks. The chair rebounds off the ropes. Bron catches it in the face. Bron collapses. Roman freezes. Punk lifts him. GTS. Roman drops. The Rock crawls. Throws an arm over Roman. 1, 2, 3. The bell rings. The arena explodes. CM Punk and The Rock have beaten Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker. Roman rolls out of the ring in shock. Bron is motionless. The Rock and Punk stand together again, battered, breathing hard. But it's not over. Roman snaps. He slides back in with the chair. He swings wildly. The Rock ducks. Punk gets hit. Hard. Punk collapses. The crowd boos mercilessly. Roman raises the chair again. The Rock grabs it mid-swing. The two lock eyes. Roman releases the chair and backs away slowly. Bron crawls to Roman. Roman grabs him and pulls him out of the ring. They retreat up the ramp. Roman is furious. Not defeated. Dangerous. The Rock kneels beside Punk, helping him sit up. Punk looks at Roman retreating. He mouths the words, "This isn't over." Raw ends with Roman Reigns standing on the stage, staring back at the ring, one hand shaking with rage. Because for the first time in a long time, Roman Reigns didn't control the ending. And that terrifies him.